Hey there, it's Andy with Reverb, and today I'm giving you the lowdown on 5 effects pedals that sound great with bass guitar. Whether they were designed with bass in mind or not, they certainly do the trick, so let's check them out. Playing bass has been a necessity for me ever since the 4-track days, and though there have always been pedals around, hardly any of them said bass on them. Well, from experience and a little experimenting, I quickly learned that the pedal doesn't care, and neither should you. So today I've assembled 5 pedals I've run across that sound great on guitar and bass, and you can find them right here on Reverb. The Earthquaker Plumes has the screamer circuit in its blood, but the frequency response has been widened, and that's great news for bassists. With a wide tone control, plenty of output, and a 3-position clipping switch, you can really dial in the perfect drive and feel for your bass guitar. So without any compression before it, let me show you the Plumes again with a short scale bass, and I'll roll the tone back nearly all the way, and you can still hear some definition on the high end, which is why I really like this Plumes with bass guitar. The Unit 67 from Drybell is no doubt inspired by the great 1176 studio compressor, but it has some nice tricks up its sleeve to help out your bass tone too. Along with 2 input ranges, the sustain controls the wet-dry blend, which is always useful for bass. Not to mention there's 40 decibels of monstrous clean boost, adjustable mid-frequency, and active 2-band EQ on tap. And here's a great thing about the Unit 67 with bass. It just tightens everything up without being overly compressed, and you could take the EQ in and out with that simple switch. The SansAmp Paradriver from Tech 21 is a powerful DI meant for anything with pickups that needs a bit of tube flavor and flexible EQ. The sweepable parametric mid-range allows you to scoop or boost the all-important frequencies that push your bass through the mix. Let me show you just how versatile that parametric mid-range control is, and to emphasize the full sweep, I'm just going to crank up the drive. Then I'll introduce some clean blend with the blend feature, just a really well-balanced tone for going direct in. The Solid Gold Effects Athena is a vibraphase that has a subtle swirl as opposed to a heavy swish. The Athena uses an asymmetrical wave that resembles the pulse of a classic univibe, only with more options to adjust the color and frequencies being swept. You can also select either a 50-50 blend or 80-20, which is where those vibrato tones start to ooze out. Here's just one of the examples why I love the Athena so much for bass. It just doesn't play around with the mid-range too much since it's a two-stage phaser, so it's a lot more subtle right off the bat. Plus you could play around with those mode switches and change the amount of depth, so it just adds a little bit of coloration and swirliness to your bass sound. The Source Audio C4 synth takes inspiration from Eurorack modular synthesizers. Within the circuitry are 4 voices running in parallel, and you can tweak their individual oscillator wave shapes, envelope filters, harmonization, and step sequencing, along with other mono and polyphonic synth parameters. Today I'll take advantage of the pros who have already created and shared their C4 presets on the cloud with the Neuro app from Source Audio. Here's a preset I really love on the C4, and it's made just for bass. It's called Bass and Pad in E version 3. How about we dive deeper into the Neuro app and get a fuzzy synth? Well, there's a look at 5 different pedals that have certainly come in handy when I pick up the bass guitar. Be sure to leave some comments below on your favorite bass pedals, whether they say bass on it or not. As always, thanks for watching.